What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here of the group Hardcore Iron Man Team Size 4. Real quick, before we get fully started with this video, I just have a cheeky little level to gain right here. Let me just jump this on the full screen. I have acquired basically close to 99 here, and just gonna smack a couple demons here real quick. Get this out of the way. There it is, the big one. That's what we like to see. Switch it to attack, and on we go. Just another day in the office, fellas. But no, that's a huge milestone to acquire, because for those of you who aren't aware, I always, toot this horn a couple times, every couple videos, because this is one of my favorite gear acquisition points, I guess, of a hardcore, is that, well, you want to slay with a ring of life on in case of any little flub you make, right? Mistakes happen. I've lost hardcore Iron Man because I went AFK, didn't have a ring of life, and the monsters, once your prey runs out, they'll just eat you to death until basically you die, obviously, indefinitely, like monster aggression typically doesn't drop fast enough for your prayer to last long enough. So things like hellhounds, whatever the case, black demons, greater demons, uh, a lot of those places, your prayer will not last as long as the 10-minute aggro. It lasts maybe 7 or 8 minutes. So you'll have like 2 minutes where your prey drops, and you'll end up just getting hit by the monsters after the prey runs out. And if you aren't paying attention, you walk away. Sometimes I'll AFK, step away from the PC or whatever, come back, and I'm in Death's office. So that's terrible. So the reason this is a huge level to hit is, well, one, I'm just as durable as possible, right? 99 defense, insanely valuable for a hardcore. However, this allows me to go purchase the skill cape, which acts as a ring of life, and skill capes, especially the trimmed ones, have really nice stats. The skill cape trimmed has, for one, it has 4 prayer bonus, so that's excellent for just praying on tasks. And it has a healthy amount of defense bonuses. It has, good stab, slash, and crush bonus, as well as it has, other defenses, and it's just all positive on the defenses. There's no negative effects at all. So it's way stronger than the Arty Cloak 3 that I've been using, although it's like 1 less prayer. But what it does is it allows me to go from a Ring of Life to a Berserker Ring Eye on all tasks, including those dangerous aggressive tasks. So what I will do is I will wear the combo of Ring of Life, the Defense Cape, which acts as my Ring of Life, and a Berserker Ring Eye, which has more stats and more strength bonus than the Fire Cape with like a Ring of Life. So a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you have a Fire Cape? A lot of people think the Fire Cape is like super overpowered, which sure it is when your account can just die freely in Slayer going AFK. But for me, I value the Ring of Life effect. It will save your hardcore status in many scenarios. So in order to keep that without wearing the ring and wearing a Berserker ring, I need the defense cape. So that's what I'll be transitioning to as I continue Slayer here on the attack grind. Currently 90, going for 99. This would be the 3rd account that completes Slayer, but only 95 Slayer. I'm guessing I'll hit 99 attack a little bit before 99 Slayer. Depends on how many Barrage Nechreel tasks we get. But I'm definitely stopping and doing every Nechreel Barrage task possible, because my mage is only 93 and really need to get that up as the melee stats close in on all 99s. I will have nothing left to do melee progression wise, so I would prefer to get burst tasks. So we'll see how that evens out. I don't think I'll get quite 99 mage. I will not be that close when I hit 99 Slayer and 99 attack alongside. So, but we'll see where that ends up. I'm currently doing Abyssal Demons, and one of the reasons I wanted to show this, level up and flip on the recording is because I want to showcase some Abyssal Sire here. So I believe this is one of the accounts. Well, I'm 100% positive without even checking. This account has not done any Sire because the way I did Sire was I want to wait till 99 defense first off. Second off, I would like higher attack, but 90 attack is perfectly fine. The kill is heavily dependent on landing a Dragon Warhammer spec, so having higher attack is definitely very beneficial to just the overall kill efficiency there. But you don't need 99 in all stats to do bossing. That's not what I'm trying to get across as a point. I'm just explaining that for me, the way I see it is, if I'm going to do any bossing or PVM, but I also want to just train to 99 Slayer, why not just do the 99 Slayer first, have basically max combat stats, and then go do it, right? Order of operations just going to work out better in my favor to just have that higher accuracy, higher defense, and such. So, especially being a hardcore, you have to factor in these decisions. You really do not want to chance it at all. I mean, you can definitely PVM with lower stats, but for me, I just want to have the quickest kill times. I want to have the most success rate at getting smooth kill rates. For example, when I miss a Dragon Warhammer spec, the boss fight at the end is going to take significantly longer, and that's where it's dangerous. So shortening the danger time from each boss kill as you do 50, 100, 200 or whatever kill count of any boss definitely adds up in the long run. It really does. And so that's really what I'm going for here. That's sort of what I'm fighting for. And yeah, with 99 defense, I am going to be doing a couple bosses. One is Sire, which I'll showcase here in just a moment. But then I want to do Cerberus as well with the Defense Cape and Berserkering Eye. So that if I do ever totally slip up and get hit down to 9 or less health, the Ring of Life effect on the cape will proc. But obviously bosses like Sire and especially Cerberus, they can hit upwards of 20 to 30, so they can bypass the Ring of Life effect if they just hit more than your 10 HP remaining, and they don't ever hit you into that 9 to 0 or that 9 to 1 HP threshold where it would teleport you out. So, Ring of Life, it's never guaranteed at certain places, but it's just one of those things. Well, 50% of the time, if I did make a mistake, that would save me, so. And then hoping that the other 50% of the time is where I just am on my toes and watching my own back, so. Yeah, I'm going to be switching it on over when we get to Sire. I will need to gear up entirely. I need to switch spellbooks and do some of the combat achievements because I'm working towards the hard tier. So as I work towards that hard tier combat achievements for this account, I do have it on 2 already, but this will be the 3rd one that I need to go for all these combat achievements to get the hard tier unlocked. So I will be doing all of the Abyssal Sire ones. That includes getting high kill count, which is I think 25 and 50 KC. You'll get some points. So I'll be doing a total of 50. But the other combat achievements will be achieved in a lot lower than 50 kill count. I'll have those done long before I get to 50 because I'm going to be setting aside and doing those first off. Some of them are going to be to kill all of the respirator systems in one shadow barrage on the boss. So I do believe what that means is you'll typically want to just use like a long range weapon and safe spot 2 of the vents. So there's 4 vents at Sire, and 2 of them are not safe spottable, meaning that the tentacles, when he's not stunned, will always be able to reach you and damage you. But the other 2 are safe spottable, so where when the Sire is still sleeping and his tentacles are active, then they can't actually reach you. So that's going to be the way that I go about it. Is I'm going to safe spot the 2 that are safe spottable without stunning him, and then with only 2 remaining, go stun him, because you are allowed to stun him 1 time for that combat achievement, and then go run around and do the remaining 2, which you should have plenty of time, because typically you can do about 2 to 3 of the systems in one single stunning with the Shadow Barrage spell. And then, but that's why the combat achievement is the way it is it only lets you stun him once, which typically you need to stun him twice per kill. So that's kind of the little trick, is that you just have to chip them down. You can still damage the respiratory systems when he's not stunned. It's just the the tentacles will attack you, and 2, they take like ridiculously low amounts of damage. It's like 10% of what you would hit. So if you hit like a 30, it only does like a 3. I think the most you can hit are like 2s and 1s. So yeah, I'll be showcasing that. I will show some of the combat achievements as well. So there will be a bit of pausing in the ramble effect of my videos effectively as I concentrate and focus, but it will be live footage. There's no voiceovers. It's just 100% live, me controlling these 4 accounts. I actually have a 5th account on the side that is one of my duo group normal Iron Men, but I'm not really showcasing that at the moment. That's just sort of like a side project, and you know, it's not a hardcore, though it's not a part of this hardcore group. So typically my series here is this hardcore, so I will only be showing these 4 for now, and then I will switch it to the full screen for the bossing. So anyway, catch you in a second here. And we are back. Seems like only a second for y'all. Was about 30 minutes as I geared up. Finished my task down to about 50-ish, because I want to get 50 done on the combat achievement kill count requirement. So, you know, I made sure I left 50, but I didn't want to have to go gear back up and go back to Abyssal Demons. So let's see, where is this? DIP? Okay, so we are pretty much set here to do a couple combat achievements all in one go. So first off, we're going to be trying to do some things with lunars here. So one of them is to avenge the boss back, and in order to use Venge, you need to be on lunars, but in order to do this boss in general, a lot of you probably will know that you have to stun him with ancients. So wow, looks like he's already up and running. So I will be doing spellbook swap here. Let's go. Let's make sure that we're not going to get poisoned here. What's this going to be? Ancient. Yeah, figures as soon as I say that. There it goes. So yes, which ones are safe spottable? I forget. I guess I'm gonna have to try just doing this first. Looks like this one is. Why is he so active right now? I guess it's because somebody was on this world, huh? I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot here. So we'll just be attacking. I feel like he should be like sleeping or something. Yeah, it looks like somebody was already on this world. Just gonna go ahead and hop to a different world. But yeah, we're gonna be doing stun him only once combat achievement alongside the vengeance. There we go. That's more like it. That's more like it. Okay. So I believe as soon as I start attacking these respiratory systems, oh, won't let me do that either. I think I need to just bop him real quick. So actually, I think I do need to anger him and wake him up, but with that, we can just chip these down here. So I'm just gonna turn walk on and just walk back and forth in the case that he poisons the ground underneath me. We are safe from that. Hope that my imbued heart stays above 96, as I need 96 to spellbook swap. I should last quite a while here. So 2 of these, as I was saying, are safe spottable. So I'm going to be chipping them down. You'll see the XP drops are massive here, but it takes a reduced amount of damage unless you Shadow Barrage the boss and stun him. So only able to hit like 2s and 3s at most. But you can eventually deal this 50 damage that brings this respiratory system down. So I will be doing this one, and I believe I have one marked down here that is also safe spottable. So I will be safe spotting these two, and then once these two are taken care of, I will kill the remaining two by shadow barraging him for the one time that I'm only allowed to, and just attacking the systems as normal, because once he's stunned it will do significantly higher amounts of damage and should easily be able to trident out those two. If you're wondering, you can just trident in full on melee gear. These systems do not have any magic defense at all, so you do not need any accuracy bonuses. You just want to bring like an occult and your tormentor bracelet if you have one. Alright, that's one down. Let's go to the next one. I believe that marked tile is a safe spot. That's why I have it marked. Cool, working as intended. So just doing the do here. Chunking away. And slowly but surely here we can bring this down as well. So some of you might be thinking, well, why do you have to be on Lunars at all? Well, it's because there's a combat achievement to venge his gigantic explosion attack back at him. So I will be doing that one with Lunars. There's no way to get to Lunars because Lunars is the only spellbook that has the spellbook swap. So swapping to another spellbook for like one use of one type of spell, you can't do that from other spellbooks to Lunars. It's Lunars to the other 3 spellbooks. So that's why I need to be on it, and the reason that this is a challenge is because this boss requires you to use Shadow Barrage on him to stun him to take these systems out. Because although I am cheesing and safe spotting these two, the other two are not cheesable. So you would literally have to face tank the tentacle while you chip it down 1 damage or 2 damage at a time, and for 50 health you would just get obliterated by the tentacles. I don't even know if a full inventory of brews and food would help. Obviously, probably if you had like 20 brews in your inventory, you could do it. You could brute force it, but this is just, I think the easier way is to utilize the spellbook swap to just get that 1 shadow barrage off needed to bring down the 2 unsafe spottable respiratory systems. So let's see here. Yep, we should still have 96 mage. In fact, by the time it goes below 96, the imbued heart will be back up. So alright, as this one ends, we are going to make the final push here. Just make sure it's completely dead. You get the XP drop. Beautiful. So again here, I want to make sure that I'm not getting up. You can right up. See, there's the poison as I called it. Let's go to ancients here. That poison hits very hard too. Alright, so now that he's stunned, I can just start trying to, and now these big XP drops, that's just gonna 2-shot this vent. Now the XP is actually accurate in that I am actually hitting super high on these vents. Okay. So let's open up with a Dragon Warhammer spec. So the boss should come out here. Going to be praying melee, piety, doing what I can. You want as best of tank gear as you can. That's why I'm wearing barrows. There we go. Beautiful. Let's just dump a double spec on him. And you want to arc light with stab. Even though the stab option is the weaker arc light option, the Sire has a significantly lower stab defense, and there we go, proc that. So now we're going to angler up. On this phase you actually want to pray range, and there it is. It took the big 60, so I had to avenge that attack specifically, and I'm still dodging the miasma pulls for a little bit, and it looks like they have stopped, so we're just going to be finishing up the kill here. You're under a lot of duress here. That's what the tank gear is for. This is what piety is for. The bearer's armor, etc. And there we go. Wow, look at those. So I got the demonic rebound done, which is good. I think I'm going to just go get off of lunars for now. And we got respiratory runner. I believe that is the one that says that you have to only stun him one time. It basically means you're running around like a madman on the respiratory systems, doing them as quickly as possible. So a couple things we can do here. I actually forgot to bring my house tabs. That could have been bad. Let's empty this. And then on the run here, so the 3 runes I want in my pouch are going to be probably like heirs. We'll keep the bloods out. And it's going to be heirs, deaths, and souls to cast Shadow Barrage with the death or the blood runes here. So my teleports down there as usual. I always carry an anti-venom in case the pool poisons me. The poison hits very, very hard. So you do not want to get caught with that. Actually went to the wrong altar here. So normally I would go to this altar because this can get me back to the regular spell book, but I forgot that I need to actually be on Ancients. Just in general, not switch off of Lunars. So typically my muscle memory is just to run to the lunar altar and switch off that spell book. So a little bit of a whoopsie there, but just going to run to the pyramid now. Get on Ancients, and then we'll just be doing the entire rest of the 50 kills with Ancients, as you can just naturally cast Shadow Barrage, not have to spellbook swap to it. So I did the 2 combat achievements that were pretty vital to have lunars on. Well, the respiratory system, I used to use thralls, but you can just chip it down doing 1 and 2 damage per attack, slowly but surely, so that works as well. Alright, there we go. Ancients on. Let's go restore all of our prayer back up as the ancient altar drains you for some unknown reason still. It's obviously, oh, you're turning on a dangerous spellbook, but it's just kind of annoying at this point. Alright, so we have all the runes in our rune pouch. We don't need spellbook swap. Let's figure out what we need here. So there are other combat achievements that will involve me chinning the small spawns that appear. So I'm going to be attempting to do this one next. Now this one is going to be really, really challenging. The reason is because you have to kind of run away and stack up these scions as they mature. Because if they mature and you didn't chin them all out, you will have a really, really tough time finishing off the boss, because, well, 1, they do more damage, and 2, you'll fail the combat achievement. So I believe what I did for this was I would go chins and then equip my anguish just for some extra ranged damage output. I do believe they have 0 defense, so it shouldn't matter that I'm wearing full tank armor. I'm bringing a range pot so that I can range pot right before I attempt that. And I think this one's actually going to require the Crystal Halberd tech too. So I think even when you chin these ones, he will summon more and more scions, which you won't be able to chin them all down. So after I land 1 Dragon Warhammer, I'm going to save my remainder of my 50% spec, and I'll have a Crystal Halley after the fact. And I'm going to try to KO him early on with a Crystal Halley attack. So let's go ahead and pre-angler here. And I think that's what we got here. I was bringing a torso, a fighter torso, to just get some extra max hits, potentially. I don't know if it's entirely necessary. If we get some bad RNG on this, we might go back and try to bring a fighter torso, but it's going to make me a lot less tanky. I do not want to be less durable. I definitely want my tank plate body, so. Okay. So as we run back, we're going to be just doing the kill as normal. And the first phase, when he walks out of his little shelter, you need to just arc light poke the small scions if he summons any. He might not even summon them, but sometimes he'll summon like 3 of them. So you would have to do that one You would have to bop those so that he does not summon any of those, or let those mature. Those will still count for the combat achievement. Okay, 2-shot that. And it's nice to be able to kind of track these XP drops. If I hit like a really large XP drop on this attack there, then I kind of know that that's going to be taken out. Let's get this one down. I might actually be able to just do that respiratory runner combat achievement here. These are some crazy high hits. Will I be able to, or is it gonna stall my projectile? Oh, yep. See, that's why you see now I have to stun him again. That's why the combat achievement only lets you shadow barrage him one time, because typically you just don't have enough time even when you're hitting really hard. Okay, let's see here. So the goal here is to land one Warhammer. Let's go. Oh, and we missed, so that's not great. But maybe, oh, we missed both. Well, we're just going to be passing up on this kill. We're going to just do the kill as normal. But there's no point in trying to do the CA on a full defense boss. Definitely need to just land a Warhammer and then attempt for this, because I have struggled with this in the past. It's one of the more difficult combat achievements to do for Sire without the use of like a Void Waker for spec or Dragon Claws. Dragon Claws are really nice too. You know, if you could just spec the boss out, then you're totally chilling. We see that Scion has matured, so that one will just ruin the CA for us, but we're not really going for the CA, so always run away when he teleports you, because he's doing his explosion attack. And basically just go back and forth zigzagging here. Man, these things have a lot of little spawns here, but I am full HP still, so I guess it's not doing too much to me. Yeah, see, he summons even more Scions, so alright, let's just loot this. Let's go back to our house. We're gonna be restoring our spec every kill until this combat achievement works, because I need full spec to be able to hammer and then have a Crystal Halley afterwards. So in fact, if I can figure out what health he transitions into the explosion and then the final phase, I can try to get him low with the arc light and then land a huge Sea Halley, because there's a lot of downtime right there to where you have to dodge the explosion and then resume attacking. So if I can do a massive Crystal Halley hit into the finish, the remainder of the kill, then that might really help me with just the fact that I'm trying to do this CA and I need to basically one-shot him from a low health point before any of those Scions mature. This is one of the most difficult combat achievements for sure of Sire, is to not let any mature. I believe it's called They Grow Up So Fast. It's a little pun on, I guess just like children and things like the fact that like, oh, your kids will only be kids for so long and then they're grown adults. They grow up so fast. That's kind of the play on words there, with the whole Scions maturing as grown Abyssal adults. So yeah. Alright, I'm not going to fresh pot. I just potted last kill. We're still at like only -3 here. Looks like we left one of the respiratory systems alive, so let's go take that one out real quick. Must have been on like 1 health. Oh, it's like half HP. I think that was one of the big XP drops I got, thinking it would kill, but then he must have just woken up, and then the projectile mid-air gets reduced. So that's not very fun, but it happens. Alright, let's try to land this hammer, and we miss again. So this is why it's frustrating. Alright, so we did land the second hammer. If we get 30% spec here, we can still do this combat achievement, but it will be kind of tough here.
He's also, yeah, okay, he's just summoning many Scions. And I kind of forgot to kill that first one, so looks like we will just have to do the kill as normal, recharge spec. As you do, that's sort of the life here of this boss trying to do these combat achievements. Look at that, he just keeps summoning more and more. So if we can get the first hammer to land, my god, he is just summoning these things like wildfire, man. Okay, so we're going to pray range now because the Scions do more damage now and they are primarily range based. Let's run away here. And let's go back to attacking the boss. We should be chilling here. Let's finish out the boss. And we're going to go restore our spec and such. Don't stop moving. Don't even know what that is. But hey, we got it. Let's actually check that one because I'm not sure what that one is. Real quick here. Let's look up here. Yep, next unlock 76 points. That's what we're doing here. Sire. Okay, we've done 4 out of 8 so far. Yeah, that was the 4th. See, don't stop moving. Kill the Abyssal Sire without taking damage from my hands. Okay, that was going to happen naturally. So I need to do this grow up too fast one. Wow, it says it's only 3 points. But this is like the hardest one. Because you have to like chin and kite back these Scions and take them out. That's like the only way to do it. Obviously, you could probably barrage them too, but that's like less DPS, less consistent. And then there's Perfect Sire, so this one doesn't say you have to do it as well with not letting any Scion mature. So luckily, the Perfect Kill combat achievement doesn't fully require you to also do the Scion mature step as well. It's just take no damage from unnecessary avoidable damage sources. Basically, you're only allowed to take chip damage from the boss. That's typically how perfect mechanics of the combat achievements work. If it's called perfect something for any boss for a combat achievement, then it typically is designed to where you're just only supposed to avoid the 100% avoidable damage, and it's not a big deal if you take chip damage because that's obviously not avoidable. Like, how would you prevent that, Alright, let's take that out. Let's get this one, and then I will just probably be just dropping a stamina dose every kill here. Let's just re-stun him. I think they did update this. You used to not be able to cast Shadow Barrage on him when he was already stunned to reapply it, but I think they updated it and now you can. Or it was always that you could, but you definitely can now, so I'm utilizing that after I take 2 vents out, knowing that I'm probably going to have to stun him again no matter what. So alright, let's get a fresh pod here. Hopefully that 118 stats, well, only 108 attack, I can land this hammer. There we go. So that's a big hammer hit. Okay, so we're going to be dodging poison and taking out any Scions that he pops out. We have anglers, so we can stay high above in between phases here. We can go to 120 health for whenever he needs to just be brought down in a quick fashion there. Okay, so that's not very good because... Okay, so I'm going to range pot now. Here's where the Scions are going to mature. So, there we go. So, I need to attack these things without letting them mature. Can I get them all? We can. Okay, so we need to still focus on the boss here. He's going to summon more after the explosion. So this is where it's just a DPS race here too, and then I'm going to try to Halley here. And we got it. Did we get the CA? We did. Nice. That's huge. Okay, so if I had whiffed that Crystal Halley, then basically they would all start maturing. And I would lose the CA and have to keep retrying it. But that's why I always go with one of the kills that the Dragon Warhammer hit, because with the reduced defense, hitting like a 30 to 50 with a Crystal Halley is pretty much guaranteed. It hits really hard on the spec there, so nice. I can bank that. I'm going to bank the chins, the anguish that I was using to buff my range. That was pretty clutch. I do think you only have 3 chins to throw before they start maturing, and I luckily comboed out the remaining couple of scions there with that last chin, so that was pretty clutch. Let's restock our potions here. We still need the Draymond. I guess we don't really need the brew and such. I was bringing that as backup for the combat achievements, but now that those are done, we'll probably just bank those. And let's roll with 2 prey pots. That should be fine. I could waste a house tab every time to get to a closer fairy ring. It might be worth it. We'll see. I don't know. I guess I have thousands, so it's not a big deal, but for 50 KC, I might, for the sake of just getting this kill count done. So one thing I've been forgetting, and this is kind of a bad habit to fall into, is forgetting your escape crystal, because I'll probably pull that out of the bank next time. I am using an external power source, so I am wired into a UPS, which basically will trigger if I lose power or internet. It will kick on and keep, my internet and computer stable for like up to 30 to 40 minutes, which is really nice. And so if I were to actually disconnect, then technically I can just rely on that. Okay, wait for that thing to fall asleep. Nope, he's gonna bot me. That's fine. So take out the respiratory systems. So now I think it's just pretty much onto the bulk of the kills, which is going to be getting the kill count tasks. I'm going to double check. I do need perfect Sire, so I'll stick around on the recording until that, and then after that I will probably cut to some final thoughts and whatnot after I get this last combat achievement. So because the rest will just be about 50 KC, and that footage would take hours, so trying to keep this a little short and sweet video here. Just show like the method here and the gear setup, how to accomplish these combat achievements for the hard tier points. Okay, let's drop a spec, big 76, and pretty much just walking between these mark tiles, because this helps you avoid the poison. So that's, if you're wondering like, oh, why do you have this grid marked? Look, so there he'll summon poison under your feet at any random moment when he attacks, like he just did there again. And if you're not constantly moving around and dodging it, you'll get caught off guard for sure. And then on the second phase here, you always want to switch to prey range. That's another important one. I did get bopped by that tentacle, so I will fail the perfect Sire kill, unfortunately, which is kind of unfortunate, but I need to just watch and make sure that I, when taking out the initial vent systems, that I watch out for that, because that will fail the perfect Sire combat achievement every time. And here I'm just gonna bop him. It looks like we're getting kind of low. You can take a lot of damage very quickly there, so it's a little bit sketchy. Now if I land one hammer, then I typically will hold my second spec, because for my second spec I can just do another kill, and then by the time this one's dead I'll have a third spec, so I can actually get about 3 specs off for 3 kills in a trip. And then typically I'll go bank, probably get more food, get more supplies. Typically you have to use staminas just to run around this room. It's really annoying having to use staminas here, because I really want those potions for other things, but it is what it is. It's better to have full run and stay alive than it is to try and be stingy on supplies, because that's the hardcore gameplay, is sometimes you gotta just use supplies to stay alive. It's not worth it to risk. Okay, so we didn't get hit by the tentacles this time, so we passed that. Just need to make sure that we stay outside of the tentacles regions as well. They can still hit you during the kill, and we have to dodge poison as well, so let's make sure we dodge the poison. We're allowed to leave that guy alive. That's not part of the perfect kill. Just have to make sure we dodge poison like this. Again, poison. That's fine. Okay, it's transitioning. So we're going to stand out here. I'm going to pray range. Oh, I'm going to eat up here. Oh, looks like we moved a little early there. Just got to keep dodging back and forth. I want to leave that poison pool back there. Oh, that could have been bad because that would have hit us. And dodge the explosion. Dodge the poison by attacking him again. Every time after the explosion, you want to just immediately attack him again because he's going to drop poison under you. So it's a good way to just get that out of the way and dodge him as well. Let's just drop an arc light spec for the giggles and come on, hit. Oh, if my prey goes down, then I am doomed there. Okay, there we go, perfect Sire. I knew that was going to happen. I knew we were getting it there because that was a nice kill. And that's typically how you want to do the boss every time, but I'm not going to be as critical of hitting that perfectly because we already got the CA, so. Look at that. Perfect Sire. They grow up too fast. Don't stop moving. And then up here we did Don't Whip Me, Respiratory Runner, and Demonic Rebound. 6 combat achievements for this boss done in a span of about 20 minutes. Oops. Keep searching boss. It's Sire. Okay. So all we have left is Adept, which is 20 KC, and Veteran, which is 50. So that's why I've saved. I'm about 6 KC right now. Let's see here. And I have 45 left, so I'm going to be doing 50 total, maybe even just 51 to finish the task. I didn't want to cut it too close there, but yeah, so I will be jumping back in to the recording for some final thoughts and such. But that was the showcase Abyssal Sire. I will be just continuing to grind out the 50 KC, come back in then for a closing little round off here. Just go over some final notes that I want to talk about and sort of close the video with it. So yeah, that's the Sire. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in just a second. And we are back a long 50 or 49 KC rather later. So yeah, as you can see in the chat, let me just blow this up. 49 big ones down there, and we are rounding off the remaining last kill. So this should do it for the combat achievement, 50 KC, and obviously the lower KC ones to boot. And from there, we should be done with Sire as a combat achievement in total. So let's prep here for the final kill. Got a big hammer, big 0, gotta love it. Alright, we'll just be proceeding the kill as normal. Don't need to hit the hammer, it's just nice if it does land. It's noticeably smaller defense, but just gonna wait for poison. I forgot to stam on this last trip, of course, so I don't want to run around too much like a madman, but pretty much just paying attention. If he drops the poison underneath, then I will dodge. So coming up here, you gotta wait for his attack option, step away from the explosion, and right back to him. And then just keep moving in diagonals, and you should have this kill easily. So he only summons the poison 3 times after the explosion, but before that it's infinite. A bruise. Sure, let's pick some of these up. So that is the Abyssal Veteran 50 KC. Let's just get out of here first before we start to gander. Should be all done there with the Abyssal Sire. I did get a bludgeon piece from an unsired. Kind of forgot about that. Actually just looted it from the miasma pool back at the fairy ring location. So I did get 1/3 of the bludgeon here. It's actually not price checkable, but pretty much if you do 3 If you get 3 bludgeon pieces, they will all be unique and different, and you can create the bludgeon. However, I am kind of done here. I'm done with just 50 KC there. I'm not going to be continuing, so yeah. Just gonna move on here. Going to go slap an Abbey Demon real quick at Catacombs for that last 1 KC. I forgot I actually needed to stay for another kill because I did 51. Now I learned, okay, you don't need to actually save that 1 KC extra just as like a backup in case, but because you actually cannot do Sire at all off task. So if I did accidentally go to 49 or whatever, um, then I would literally be 1 KC shy. It would have to get a whole nother task. Although I guess I could try to bring those ruby bracelets or the red topaz ones and just pray for a proc. You know, this guy. But yeah, there we go. We got the final KC there. So task done. Let's go get a new task. Alrighty, so we got some dark beasts. So yeah, done with the abyssal demon task there. A lot of Slayer XP. We got 8 out of 8 combat achievements from Abyssal Sire. So what I have been doing here is I've just been writing in a notepad. I pretty much have all the names of every boss that has combat achievements, and then I just write which account has all the CAs done on it. And if some have like some of them done, I'll try to note that. But typically I'll just write done on and then this account. So let me just type that in here. Done on this account as well for Abyssal Sire. So there we go. If I can't open this in combat, but let me step away here as soon as I KO this. Yeah, 62 points left there on the combat achievements for the hard tier. So now one thing I do need to bring up is that this is going to change. So it says I need 62 points. Now let's say I were to go get 62 points exactly to just hit that hard tier. They're going to be releasing combat achievements and a new update, and the way they do it, it kind of screws players over, and I don't really agree with this. I think they should only add points and not increase the thresholds for each one, because then it just will forever pile on and pile on, be more and more difficult to get these combat achievement tiers. But Jagex is going to update, they're going to release combat achievements for the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, which those will be very difficult. Those will be all like Elite, Master, or Grandmaster. They might have some hard ones, which will increase the tier for the hard, which is what I have. So to unlock the hard, I will need to get extra points based on whatever combat achievements that they release that are hard or easier than that. So any easy, medium, or hard tier combat achievements added to either those Desert Treasure 2 bosses or simply, I think Scarius. Scarius just came out, and I do believe they will add a bunch to him. Now, that's not going to be an issue because I can just go do Scarius, right? But for Desert Treasure 2, I don't have the quest completed, so if they add a hard tier combat achievement that they're just like, oh, kill Duke with a Demon Bane weapon or something, like a very basic one that's not difficult, so they just tag it as the hard tier because it is, again, still a Desert Treasure 2 boss. But they'll make it worth 3 points. Well, that's going to increase the threshold to hit the hard tier combat achievements. So for me specifically, who I have just barely enough to do it, I'm going to have to go around the game and scramble for some extra combat achievement points. It's not going to be enjoyable. I do have some backups. I do have potentially, I could run in the wilderness and kill the crazy archaeologist. I think you just kill him like one time using magic and you'll get the 1 KC, you'll get the dodge his rain attack, and you'll get the attack him with a magic weapon or something. There's at least like 2 or 3 that you'll get just from literally 1 KC there. And if I just take my Royal Seed Pod, it's under like 25 wild, so I should easily be able to teleport with the Royal Seed Pod If I see a PKer and I'll just do it really quick, run up. If you see a white dot, you just click. But other than that, the kill will take like 10 seconds and then dip. So there's some easy combat achievements. Other than that, the other backups are again just doing more Bryophyta and Obor. Bryophyta and Obor are just locked behind getting some of those giant and mossy keys, which are obviously easy to get. It's just going to be annoying to have to sink a ton of cannonballs into it, but I'm willing to do it for the CA. So, and then I guess I have another backup, and that's to go participate in some raids. So I did do a level 50 Tombs of a Masket on one of my accounts to get some combat achievement points. I got a couple of CAs done. There's the 0 invocation one, and there's a 51. There's probably some other stuff tagged with that. Uh, but there's also entry mode Theater of Blood, which I have a lot of experience with Theater of Blood, so I could easily do that one, and you need to do an entry mode to do the quest Night at the Theater. So I might, dabble in that so that I can do that quest as well. Just slowly adding to my arsenal of quests completed. Um, and there's a ton of CAs I know, like with probably Bloat. There's one that just says like enter from the back side of the room, kill him with a salve. Like those are just so easy. I don't even need to do the whole run. I could just do Maiden and then Bloat, enter from the back, kill him with a salve. End up getting like a handful of combat achievement points. So pretty much I do have some backup strategies on how I could fulfill any additional hard tier requirements to keep my lower God Wars kill count requirements, because that's why I'm doing the hard tier. I'm doing the hard tier of combat achievements because if I do it on all 4 of my accounts, then they will all 4 require 5 less kill count for God Wars, and since I'm very, very close to entering God Wars as a whole, I will easily fulfill that requirement, because just going down to 35 kill count every single time I go to the boss, it's going to start paying off once I start doing repetitive trips to bosses, especially for, and I've explained this before, Armadillo and Sire, where you have to kill higher health monsters. It just takes a lot longer. So and then Armadillo is definitely one where I have to bring prayer pots. I'll have to bring like 3 or 4 prayer pots with my inventory setup, which takes into my boss supplies, because I need to pray mage and attack spiritual mages that are flying armadillo creatures. However, they are not aviancies, because otherwise you would be using your aviancy task to kill normal aviancies to get 40 kill count. So having to kill 5 less of these spiritual mages means that I'll just have to take maybe 1 less prayer pot, spend a lot less time, use a lot less bolts. Because again, I'm not going to bring like a broad bolt switch. I'm probably just going to be using like diamondy bolts, and I definitely don't want to use rubies. So I'll probably just be using my diamondy bolts to take out the spiritual mages for the kill count there. So there's a lot of reasons, time and just supply usage and quality of life, to where I really, really want these hard tier done, and to have that reduced kill count of 35, I believe, God Wars minions to enter each boss room. So yeah, I am going to be closing off this recording here with some final words. So I do thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everyone enjoyed the little bit of a Sire showcase there. I showed basically the process in which I'll do combat achievements. Like I'll gear up for them specifically, and after I obtain them, I'll just dip. Like there's no reason to continue getting the kill count on well, look at that attack range, by the way. Holy, look at this. I mean, the dude's way over there. It's because he's so glitched with his animation. He's supposed to be like right here. That is kind of freaky. Anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube, and yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed watching the combat achievements being completed. I do go around to all the bosses that I can. It's going to be Sire, Cerberus. What else? There's, Dagonoth Kings, like Calphite Queen. So all these like little Slayer bosses that you can do. Just getting the combat achievements done there. as I do Slayer and as I finish off getting close to 99 here, because now that I have 99 defense, I can officially just rock the defense cape trimmed, which has great prayer and defense stats, and the B ring eye. So I have this ring of life permanently on my character, and I love that. This is the third out of four accounts that has achieved the combo of the 99 defense with B ring, and then yeah, the other account I will be continuing to slay on it. I think that's right here, 97 defense. Up here fishing, that's going to be 97 defense, and yeah, he'll also graduate to that combo. But right now, see, rocking the Ring of Life and the Artie Cloak 3, it's just not as good. Even if I had a Fire Cape, it's still less strength than a B Ring Eye. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will catch everyone on the next one. Peace.